Hi, it's Fanny of Living Richly on a Budget. Today I'm going to show you how to use the Instant Pot Ace blender. What makes this blender different is that it has a heating element, and so it can cook raw foods to cooking temperature. So you can cook soup in it and also blend it at the same time. This video is for you if you're thinking about getting the Instant Pot Ace blender, or if you just got one, you want to know how to use it. So let's get started. So let's talk about the jar for a moment. This jar has, it only goes in one way. It locks like that. So if you look over here, there's arrows that show you that it only goes on one way. If you look underneath, there's little electronics here. So they connect with the base. When it connects, you can see that it lit up. And I'm going to show you the lid lock really quick. It comes out like this. There's like the lock in place, and it's on both sides, and you turn it left to open it, and to close it turn it clockwise. It's just like the Instant Pot. There's also like this locking top part that comes off so that you can use the tamper. So if you turn it on and your lid is not on, it's going to let you know lid to remind you to put the lid back on. So there's two measurements on the side of the jar. There's the soup measurements for hot foods and the cold measurements. And the cold measurements go a little higher for the maximum. And the blades are not removable. Let's go over the base. There's a lot of buttons on here, but what you need to know is the time is going to be up here. So if you press something, it's going to tell you how much time it is. Minutes and seconds. It's going to tell you the temperature as well as cooking. I want you to take a look at these buttons. Some of them have two dots on there, and that means that there's two options for that setting. So for smoothie, there's one option. That's the time. For puree, there's two options. There's 1 and 2. So 1 is 24 seconds, 2 is 2 minutes 56 seconds. So the first setting is for soft fruits and leafy vegetables like tomatoes and spinach. And then the second setting, that is for hard vegetables like carrots and onions. Okay, also for puree, puree will also, it also heats up the jar so that it actually cooks the food. And you have the crushed ice setting. And then you have ice cream. There's a soy milk button, and it tells you the temperature there. For rice milk, there's two dots, so there's two options. The first option for rice milk. So option 1 is for white rice milk. Option 2 is for brown rice milk, so because it takes longer to cook brown rice. Rice milk also heats up. Let's look at nut milk. We're gonna go make a nut milk later. For soup, soup has two dots. There's also two options on there, and it heats it up, heats up the jar. So number 1, the 20-minute one is for chunky soups. Blending is disabled, but it stirs it. Stop it. For the second option, that's longer, 22 minutes 44 seconds, is for creamy soup. So it's gonna stop. So it's going to blend it the same time as it's cooking and heating it. The minimum amount of liquid you need to blend anything to use the blender is 1/4 cup of liquids for either hot or cold foods. And then there's manual buttons, so you can manually blend things at low, medium, or high. And there's the pause button, which is really handy, and cancel. And there's also a post cleaning button. And the post cleaning button, it'll post the foods, or it also you can also use this to clean the Instant Pot. So you could pour hot water, hot soapy water in there, and turn it on, and then it'll clean the jar. When you use these buttons, they all have their own like programs. So they all have different times for like how long it blends it for. So when it turns on, it's gonna blend it for a couple seconds and then pause and then blend it so that it doesn't burn out the motor. and each one is slightly different on how long it's going to go for and the power setting it's on. Also, for the manual mode, for low, medium, high, the maximum amount of time that you can turn on at once is 3 minutes. I wouldn't even try to go 3 minutes because I don't want to burn out the motor. But just to let you know, it's 3 minutes max that you can use it continuously. The accessories that the Instant Pot Ace Blender comes with is a nut milk bag. This is good for straining nut milks and maybe smoothies too, so that you don't get pulp. Also comes with a brush. I didn't open it yet, but it looks like a giant toothbrush. It's for cleaning. And then it has the tamper. It's good for opening up, and then you use it to crush things. Comes with a measuring cup. So I've made ice cream in this about 5 times, and I failed the first couple times. So what you really need to do is have don't use ice cubes, because ice cubes is going to water down the ice cream. It's going to make it more like a frap quality, where it's like icy, and it's not going to be creamy and smooth as if you used milk cubes. So what you can do is just pour milk into ice cube tray and freeze it, and then just use that. But make sure you have at least 3 ice cube trays of milk, because 2 is not enough. And a lot of recipes will just tell you the measurement is 2 cups of ice or 3 cups of ice, but you have no idea how much ice that is until you take it out of the ice cube tray and then measure it. So you need 3 ice cube trays of milk in it. So that's going to make it smooth and creamy, more like ice cream. But I have to also let you know that this consistency is not going to be like ice cream where it's hard and stiff. It's going to be more like a soft serve, because you don't have an egg in there or any kind of binder. So just have the expectation it's going to be more like a soft serve kind of ice cream. Let's make vanilla ice cream. So I'm going to start by putting liquid in there. So this is half a cup of half and half. Half a cup of sugar. A teaspoon of vanilla extract. And then 3 ice cube trays of milk, frozen milk. So just freeze it overnight. We're going to close the lid. Pausing it, I'm going to tamper it, mix it up a little bit. Pause it. Chunk of ice here. I think it's done. Scoop it out and look at it. So it's blended already. I didn't go all the way. It's more like a soft serve consistency. That. So this is what it looks like, you see? Yum. It tastes really good. It's a strong vanilla flavor. It tastes really creamy and fresh. It's a softer consistency. It's not gonna be, you know, ice cream-ish. So this is a good recipe for people who are allergic to eggs, Or if you can't have dairy, then you can use coconut milk or nut milk. And it's just a good way to make, it's just a fun way to make ice cream really quick. Not really quick, but it's just a fun way to make ice cream because it's different. You're using a blender instead. And you can use your own, make your own flavors. You don't need an ice cream machine. And when you freeze this up, the texture is going to be different. It's not going to be creamy smooth like ice cream. It's just going to be a little more icier. So just expect that. But it's pretty good for what it is. It just takes a little prep work of freezing the milk into the ice cube trays overnight, and you got ice cream. So who wants to make ice cream in the Instant Pot Ace Blender? Let me know in a comment below. Here's our nut milk. So I'm pouring 4 cups of filtered water. This is a cup of cashews I've been soaking for at least 4 hours. It's been actually over a day. You could soak it 4 hours to 24 hours. Use the nut milk button. So I stopped the button after 2 minutes because I think it's done. I don't think it has to go out the full 4 minutes. So we're gonna pour it into a nut milk bag. So I poured the cashew milk into the nut milk bag, and I have a container here. I'm gonna squeeze it out. Just take your time and squeeze everything out. Now we're going to flavor it with a teaspoon of vanilla extract. And maple syrup. You need something liquidy so that it will dissolve. Just a little taste. So let's taste the nut milk. It's really good. It's really creamy. And the thing about nut milks is if you make it yourself, it's creamier than the ones you buy in the store. And plus the ones in the store, they water it down and they put natural flavor, or they put flavorings in it. So the ones you make at home are always going to be creamier and tastier. Next, I'm going to show you how to clean the Instant Pot Ace Blender. So I poured in some water and 1 drop of dish soap. I'm going to use the pulse clean button. So I find that the pulse clean cycle cleans the blades pretty well, but it doesn't really, you would have to like wipe down the sides of the, sponge with a sponge. And also the lid, you're gonna have to rinse it off. So you're probably wondering, should I get the Instant Pot Ace Blender? I think if you're gonna make a lot of smoothies, nut milks, you're gonna do soups, the creamy soups, then it's worth it to get it. It's under $100, and if you don't have a budget for the Vitamix and you really want to get a power blender, this is it. I think it's good because it has the preset buttons where you could just press a button and you don't have to think, you just walk away and come back and then your stuff is ready. So it's just like the Instant Pot where you can kind of set it and forget it, but you know, with this it's just a couple minutes. Each setting is a couple minutes, except for the soups, which is about 20 minutes or more. I think it's worth it because it crushes things really well, like ice and nuts. So I did a vegan cheesecake in a $20 blender, and what happened is I had to crush a lot of nuts and I burnt out the motor. So it wasn't strong enough, the $20 blender. So with the power blender, like the Instant Pot Ace blender, it's way more powerful. It's not gonna kill the motor. I think it's worth it if you're gonna make things like that. If you have like a special diet and you have food allergies, you can't have dairy, you have to make your own nut milks, it's worth getting. I hope you like this video. If you like this video, please click thumbs up and subscribe for more videos like this. Also, what are you excited to make in this Instant Pot Ace blender? Let me know in the comment below. See you next time. Bye.